You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Lady J here. Now, listen. Tonight is going to be a special night, and going forward on Thursdays, it's going to be a special night. But let me apologize first because I am in D.C., and so I'm a little discombobulated. If y'all can see how I got everything sitting up, hooked up, all kinds of stuff, because I forgot to bring my tripod. So, but we're going to make it work. But tonight, and let me tell you why I'm in DC. I'm in DC because we've been down here. Miss Gwen and quite a few other people were testifying today in front of the Congressional Senate, and they did a beautiful job. They're fighting for the rights of those who are still inside and for those who have come out. They did an amazing job. So that's why we're here. We're here until tomorrow. We came out yesterday, today, tomorrow. So listen. We were in Annapolis one day this week. It's been a week. But listen, I have somebody very special who is going to be starting his own show. Now, we had a conversation. He wanted to start a show, so he's going to start a show. And so I sent out the flyers, and his name is Monti. He's on the phone. And so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to introduce him. And listen, y'all know what it is. He's calling from behind the wall. So don't ask me no silly questions. He's calling from behind the wall. That's why you don't see him. And you'll just hear his voice, okay? Monti, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Ladies. Yes, I
am. All right, so
available.
So Monti is here. They can hear you.
Okay, so this I'd like to start off by saying thank you for this platform. Thank you for this opportunity, for allowing me to be a voice for those that are behind the wall, for the men and women, and for also being that voice for every incarcerated juvenile that have experienced this at an early age, such as myself. I've been locked up for over 16 years now. I've been locked up at the age of 15. It's been rough, just from the adjustments, from the things that you see, from the things that you go through in here, from the separation of your family and your friends, and the emotional trauma is real, real hard. So, like I said, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in, for listening in, and I'm here, Lady J. I'm here. I appreciate you. So, I'm all yours.
All right. Listen, I appreciate you for, we had a few conversations and a few laughs, and I appreciate you wanting to come on and, educate people about what's going on inside, because you're actually inside, you're behind the walls. And so I appreciate you wanting to come on and not only educate people, but we got some young people out here who need to know that, that's not a vacation. That's not a hotel. That's not somewhere where they really want to be. And so I appreciate you coming on. And I know we said tonight we were going to talk about your first experience, like, what was it like when you were 15? What was it like at 15 walking into an adult prison? You can't go home. Once those doors close, you can't go home. Like, that's it. So what was that feeling like when you went inside?
So that feeling was very traumatic, right? Just knowing that, I won't be able to hug my mom, hug my dad, be around, my family, my brothers, my siblings. So it was heartbreaking, and I actually fell into a slump. I fell into a slump of depression. Now looking back and being more educated about these things, I was depressed. I was depressed. I didn't get out of bed. I was moping around. When I did get out, my spirit was crushed. My spirit was broken. It's just been hard. It definitely isn't a vacation. And just the look and the tears, from your family and your friends that's there with you supporting you. And the look on my mom's face, shedding those tears, was heartfelt for me. It was heartbreaking for me. So it was very, very traumatic. It was very traumatic. Even just the adjustments of being in a cell at an early age. I've never been incarcerated before, ever. So being able to, this been my first ever incarceration, and being waived from the juvenile system to the adult system, and coming in such at an early age, I was exposed to violence. I used to see people get stabbed, and it's still, this stuff is still going on. This stuff is still going on, right? It's us stabbing each other for whatever reason. It could be over the littlest thing, right? So the trauma of seeing that early on, it kind of, it leaves you no room to express yourself emotionally, because it's like, that saying that boys don't cry type of thing, right? So it was like, man, I'm 15. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared that either I gotta do something to somebody, God forbid, or somebody gonna do something to me, because guys like me coming in juvenile, we get preyed upon. No matter how big or how tough that we may think that we are, this is a whole nother environment. This is a whole nother culture. So coming in fresh off the street, it was bizarre. It was bizarre.
Wow. Wow. Now, tell us again how long you've been in there?
I've been in it for a little over 16 years. I'm down since 2006, August 29, 2006.
Wow. So what does it look like? How long do you have to be in there? How much longer do you have to go?
3 more years. 3 more years. I go up for the Juvenile Restoration Act. I think you had a few brothers on your show prior to a couple weeks. So I'm going to that in 3 more years, and hopefully I'll be burning my release.
I pray that you will, because I don't know if you were able to listen in, because I know you all can't watch, but Gordon, Pack, Donald, Bavello, like these guys, same thing. They went in at 15, 17 years old. They're in their 50s now, and they're just getting out like a few months ago. So, I'm wondering for you going in at 15. And normally that's around the time, when boys are going through the different stages and, transitioning, getting ready to go into manhood and all of that.
Right.
What was it like for you being in a prison and you didn't have, like, the men around you were prisoners? So it's not like it's somebody in there showing you how to tie a tie or how to talk to a girl or something like that to nurture you. They put you into an adult facility. So what were the guys like that you were around?
So first off, I definitely would like to thank, the creator, because I was blessed. I was fortunate enough to have that kind of sixth sense to, for God, the men to be around me, to kind of groom me into being a upstanding man, hey, look, young buck, you can't run out here to the court the way that you do. You gotta go to the library. You gotta go to the library. You gotta study your case. You gotta understand what it is that you up against. Because you can't outlive the steel that's in here. So, I had a group of men that showed me about prison etiquette. They showed me how to study. They showed me even how to shape and how to shape myself up, keep myself groomed,
Wow.
and what have you. And I remember that particular thing because when I first came in, I had no hair. I had no hair on my face, no facial hair. And I was still going through, my adolescent phase or whatever. So, I felt ashamed because I'm like, dang, like, pops ain't even get a chance to even teach me how to shave or how to groom, how to really, take care of myself as a young man. So, to have certain brothers around me to show me what to do and how to adjust properly was like critical. It was life or death like that. So, shout out, to all the men that did help me along my journey, along my walk, for being that teacher, for being that guide. And Bavello was one of the guys, even though he came in a little later during, my journey, but he was one of the guys where so me and him we shared programs together. He was like Batman, I was like his Robin. So I was a student of his when it came to learning how to talk to the youth, learning how to write up things, learning how to study the law, what have you, right? So make that transition. The Creator blessed me. He truly blessed me now, looking back, because now it's like, man, you see these guys are born in the 2000s, and it's crazy. So it's like, hey, okay, now it's your duty, it's your job to groom these young men and make sure that they're not preyed upon, and make sure they're not victims, and make sure that understand the totality and the seriousness of their situation, so they can get back home to their mom, to their child.
Right.
So it's critical. That is critical.
And I love now Donald. He actually, I've heard so many people have mentioned his name, and he, shout out to him because apparently he's helped a lot of men. He was incarcerated, so shout out to him. And Miss Leah, you remember I was talking to you about Miss Leah Green?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Miss
Can you
Leah,
hear me, Lady J?
hold on, Miss Leah. We can hear you. So Miss Leah just popped on, and I want, because you were telling me you were excited when I mentioned her name. So for those of you who don't know, Miss Leah is like, she is just, everybody calls her mom and all of that, but these guys know who she is, and the ladies, they know who she is. And we interviewed Miss Leah on Monday, her organization Maryland Cure. So I invited Miss Leah to come back on as a surprise to you, because you said that her son was actually your mentor. So Miss Leah, this is Monti.
Hi, Monty.
Hey, how you doing, Miss Lee? I heard so many good things about you. I even read all the Maryland Cure headlines, the ways though when you was going down there and you were, was fighting for us. And throughout these years, still fighting for us, still being involved in the struggle. All I've heard was beautiful and wonderful things about you, Miss Lee. So I appreciate you. This is an honor. This is a pleasure. To be in the same conversation with you finally, right? So I hope that you are well. I hope that you are blessed.
Bless you, child. Thank you so much. It's just an honor. I tell you, it's more humanity behind those walls than it is out here in the street. I'm telling the truth.
It really is. Now, Miss Leah, Miss Leah's son, he's a lifer. And Miss Leah was talking about him on Monday. And so she actually, and Monty, somebody on here is their name is Ivy. They said, hey, Monty, cousin Ivy tuned in.
Okay. Hello, cuz. Long time no hear, bro.
Yep, cousin Ivy. And I want to read some of the comments too before I go any further, because the comments have been rolling in, and I don't want people to think we're ignoring. So let me go back to some of the comments. Van Green said, to keep pushing and don't give up. That's from Van Green. Kenroy Walker said, God is a God of grace and mercy, my brother. His spirit is watching over you in there. Please keep praying for a supernatural situation to happen that will get you out. God bless you. That's from Kenroy Walker.
Thank you.
Someone wants to know, they said if you don't mind sharing, and remember I told you, you don't have to share if you don't want to, but they want to know what institution you're in.
Okay.
And
I'm here. Okay.
Say that again.
WCI, Western Correctional Institution.
Oh,
Cumberland, Maryland.
Okay, WCI, Western Correctional Institution in Cumberland, Maryland. I'm gonna ask you about another guy, but I'll ask you off air because it's another guy that reached out to me. His dad reached out to me, and he's in Cumberland. You might know him.
Okay.
And then let's see. That's from. Then somebody else said. Now, Curtis Wilson. I don't know who that is. They just said, "What up, Curtis Wilson?" So I'm not sure who that is, but.
Oh. Okay. If that's the Curtis that I remember, he's very sharp, very intelligent brother. And we actually, me, him, and Bevello shared a facilitation class together, alternative to violence facilitation class together. If that's that particular brother, kudos to that brother. Big shout out to that brother. Very sharp, intellectual, and that brother right there. If that's the Curtis that I'm thinking about.
Okay. And Delmar said, he said, kudos to you. I know, Delmar, you're asking me to put it on IG. I could, but I have Monty on one phone and I have to use the other phone to take calls if people call in. So I'll have to put it up on IG later on. So Monty, are your parents still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you, Delmar. Thank you. Okay. And now let me ask you something. Since COVID and everything has been going on, are you all able to get visits now?
Yes. They actually are scheduled visits instead of like, normal operation where it's okay, well, visits on this, these particular days, this particular time. So everything is now scheduled now. And I believe in every institution, and even though the CDC supposedly lifted COVID restriction, but everything is scheduled now. So yes, we are able to get visits twice a month for an hour up here in this institution.
That's awesome. Now, tell us what a day in the life is like being inside for you.
A day in a life is every day. You surrounded by chaos, by nonsense. It's disgusting, right? By loud noises, by even correctional officers, certain correctional officers, especially up here in this region. You got to deal with racial comments. That's the meaning, that's demoralizing, right? And at some instances, the way that they treat you like you're less than a human being because you are incarcerated. So the environment now that are in prison now is getting worse. It's getting worse by the minute because whatever's going on the streets, like just how Ms. Leah Green referred to. It's crazy out there. So when these brothers are coming straight off the street, it's a reflection of the street, to the brothers that's been down for a while. So it's chaos. It's really controlled chaos behind the walls, from even just maintaining a relationship, with your family, with your friends, with your fiance, with your wife, your kids. It's really mentally tough. It's really mentally tough. And for the guys that's been down, longer than me, you're always on the clock. It's like, okay, well, my mom's getting older, my kids getting older. That thought of, okay, I got to get out of here. How am I going to get back in court? Or when I do go back to court, what would they do? What would they say? So you got a selective few that are banking on bills, banking on everything that you and Miss Leah Green and many more organizations are out there doing, that's going down there in Annapolis and speaking and pushing behind this bill. Like, that is huge for us. That is so significant for us. So I want to shed some light on that, where though, other family members, get involved in the struggle, because that's what it's going to take. It took us a while to get here to this juvenile thing. We've been crying for years about this. Hey, how you going to sentence a juvenile for life? How you going to sentence a juvenile to a sentence to where though you can't come back from? Right. Regardless of the crime. Like if we talk about rehabilitation, and let's talk about rehabilitation. What does that look like? So in prison now, it's warehousing. It's a lot of warehousing. It's not deeply rooted, right? And if you let me give you an example. So I got up here maybe like a year or something ago, right? And I signed up for this program. It's the Victim Impact Program. So this is a program of where you're supposed to be real intense, hands-on, and really diving into a lot of undisclosed emotions, hurt, trauma, pain will cause you to do the crime, everything. And they have the nerve of kids to have it on a monitor, to have it on a screen. Like, there's no interaction, human to human contact. There's no togetherness. Everyone is just in warehouse, and it's sickening. It's really sickening. So the resources is less than coming. And, so years later, for them to even come up with, okay, we need to, give these juveniles a second, and we need to get these guys a bill passed so they can get back home to their families. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's beyond.
How do you maintain your sanity? That's one of the things that I've noticed, like with all of the guys and the women that have come out. I am amazed at, like I said, the one guy spending 42 years in prison, and you're still sane when you come out, and going in at 15. How do you maintain your sanity day after day after day, knowing that you're not going home tomorrow?
So that is a deep question. So really, it's your family. It's really you seeing yourself. Out there in society, right? So, if you choose to give up on yourself, do it for your family, do it for your children, do it for people that's taking the time out. Do it for those that will be affected if they hear some bad news about you. If they hear, Cumberland is on lockdown, how many families will be up in the hospital like, oh my God, is my child okay? Or my husband is all right? So, it's just doing a service to not only self first, but the community, your family as well, right? To even wake up every day and say, man, listen, I gotta be more productive than I was yesterday, for myself, because I want to be the greatest human being that I can possibly be. I want to be that man that I know that is lacking in those communities out there, right? So, okay, what does that look like? Okay, well, I gotta pick up a book. I gotta read. I gotta study. So I gotta work out. I gotta take care of myself. So that right there is just wanting to live, your best life and live it for not only yourself, but for the people that's in the struggle with you. You know, so it's about not being selfish at the end of the day, right? That's what keeps me afloat. The relationships that I have. I've met this woman, beautiful, I've met her. So, and we vibe and we cut and we talk and we excel in so many different areas. So it's like, man, you have to wake up and be productive for not only for yourself, but for those that love you and for those that care about you, right? So what keep me going. That's what keep me going.
That's was I joking with you and Kay? I can't even remember. I because I talk to a lot of couples now, people who have loved ones that are incarcerated. But we were talking about the show Love After Lockup. Yeah, I think we were talking about that. And you mentioned that you're in a relationship, and let me tell you, first of all, like I told you, I watch that show all the time. Why? I don't know, but I just like to watch it. So listen, as a female, I wonder how, because I can't speak for men, I can only speak for women, how women maintain that relationship with somebody that's incarcerated, and how, like, I don't understand it. Can you explain it to us? Because when I see these shows like Love After Lockup, I know a lot of it is scripted, but you being in a relationship and not really being able to spend that time with this person, like like the way it normally is, of spending time and holding and hugging and kissing and that kind of thing. How do you maintain that relationship?
To be honest, it's putting out what putting out the energy, that you want to receive. So, receive, putting out there that you have 60 seconds remaining. So I'm gonna call right back.
Yes. Yes. So guys, listen, let me say again, I'm so excited that he's on, and I'm glad I had a chance to talk to him. And the way that we met is that he how did we meet? I'm trying to think for a minute. How did we meet? I forgot that quick how we met. I forgot that quick. This is getting old. Like, this is ridiculous. I forgot that quick how we met. We were doing a show. That's what it was. I think Gordon, all the guys and everybody who had just gotten out, they were on the show. And his friend, he calls his brother, he was watching the show. And by the time he was able to get his phone call in, we had just ended the show. So I was talking to his friend, and his friend is like, you gotta talk to him. So I'm like, okay. So we ended up talking to his friend Delmar, the guy that you heard me talking to a few minutes ago. Delmar got Monti on the phone, and we started talking. And I was just like, and he was saying the one thing he really would love to do is a podcast. And I said, well, we can do that, because here's the crazy thing. I had been working on this for a while, but I wasn't sure how to get somebody to come on to do it. Lo and behold, we start talking, and he starts telling me the way that we can really do this. Now, of course, we can't see him, but his fiance, and as he said, the other guys who listen to the show, what they do is they have a loved one or friend or whatever who calls them, and that they call, and then they're able to listen. So, they only have a limited time of phone calls. So he's going to call us back, and we discussed all of this before before the show started, because I didn't want him to be nervous. I said, look, people know what it is. You behind the walls. So it is what it is. So anyway, Miss Leah, how you feeling?
I'm doing just great. Thank you. Sorry I was so late. I'm not giving up on this. I'm learning like everybody else.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You called in at the right time. We had everything timed because we didn't want to, take a lot of his time and all of that.
Lady J, right quick, can I just make a brief comment on what your last statement with Monti in reference to how these guys make it behind the wall?
Hold on 1 second, Miss Leah. Let me get him on the phone because he's calling back. I'm going to turn that ringer off. Okay, Monti, you back? Monti? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right, we got him back. Miss Leah was just saying something. Go ahead, Miss Leah.
Yes, Monti, I was just wanted to piggyback on what you were talking about when Lady J asked you about how you make it behind the walls and keep your sanity. This is my experience, guys. I truly mean you guys have tapped into something we don't have a clue. Just think about it. You are in a box all your life is controlled by somebody else and you manage to come. That's huge. I hope you guys come out here and teach us a few things. Because out here we got distraction and all. I'm telling you, I'm amazed. I am totally amazed. So you guys can teach us something in reference to stress and all this and relationship. I mean, you don't have. It's amazing. I think you got something there. Y'all can make some money out this stuff. Because bring it on out here. I'm sorry, Lady J, but I'm just.
It's okay.
Yeah, you know, they got it. They serious relationships, and people would give they right on to have these kind of relationships, and it's a wonderful thing. I think they done tapped into something that we out here don't have a clue, and I'm just happy to be witnessing this in my lifetime. So I don't worry about them anymore. I wish they come out here and don't talk about it, be about it, and show us. Because it's just amazed me. It just is amazing. Marty, I love you, and you just keep it up and come on home.
Thank you. Love you too. And I wanted to piggyback off your son being a mentor to me, right? We actually worked side by side in the sign shop down there in Kentucky. And he's always in tune. He's very intuitive. You know, he's smart. This man, like keeps his composure, even with some of the losses that he's taken. You know, during the 8 years that man handled together, particularly in that particular institution.
Yes.
I've known him when he was at Cumberland as well, right? But I didn't know him like that. You know, when I went down there, we got real acquainted, and you know, it was his perspective was so broad. It wasn't just about, you know, okay, you know, you got to learn this about the shop. It was like on some, hey man, you know, as a black man, you know, this is how you do, you know, so you know, try to do this, or you know, think about when you do go home, you know, what would you do? You know, what type of skills would you have, right? And that's a brother that will forever stick with me forever. As long as I will never forget that, but I will never, you know, like he just was amazing. He's amazing. So I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
Coming from a oh yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Now coming from, you know, like getting us through, and we didn't have conversations. You know, we sat down there, you know, us as this men down there. There was a few of us, you know, and there was a few wifers down there that we just sat around that you know, that we knew that this wasn't our home. This wasn't where we would stay at. You know, regardless of how much time they gave us, whatever it may be, if it's meant for us to, you know, go home and be home, then God will deliver us, right? And knowing that who we are, our natural essence of men was, you know, no, we better than this. You know, man, this stuff temporarily. You know, this is something that I tell myself, you know, on an everyday basis. Hey, man, this stuff temporarily, man. Just do what you got to do. You know, you'll be home before you know it. So that's why, you know, it's like, man, when you look up, it's like, man, I got 10 years in there. I got 25 years in there. You know, and you can see certain stuff like us with tablets and cells. You know, that's something that I would never thought that I would still be in living like this with a tablet and a cell, right? I thought I'd have been home by now, right? But it's real. It's real. So just understanding the plight, understanding even the structures that was put in front of us. Everything from, you know, like how we was housed, the schools, the education that we got. You know, it was cool. So when you come to prison, you learn more about yourself. You learn more about your people, your background, your ancestors, where you come from, which gives you a different purpose. It gives you a different purpose. Like, okay, I gotta move out there. You know, don't be ashamed of your son because I'm in prison. You know, prison is not who I am. You know, like so. that's a whole another drive. That's a whole another layer to this thing. So that that's what keeps a lot of us, man, a lot of us men, on this side of the wall, like keeping us pushing forward. So so that's my personal experience of growing up and staying positive and because I know that I didn't have a lot of that growing up. So I don't want to do myself a disservice by just turning my back and saying when these young dudes that are coming in like, hey man, nah, listen, I'm not living examples. You can be better. You can structure your mind. You can do that. This is what it looks like. This is a formula. This is something that needs to be taught out there. Because hey, listen, COVID was the worst experience I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Wow.
Ever experienced, because witnessing guys losing their minds behind these doors and these walls, man. Like people who you grew up with behind here. Like that's hurtful. That's hurtful to see that, And next thing you know, they on their way to the mental health side. It's so it's like, man, I can't go out like that, or I can't do this, or I gotta keep my mind focused. So let me pick up this book. Let me learn this skill. Let me learn this trade. Let me be better for my mother, for my kids. Like,
right.
And that's what keeps a lot of us, that flame lit in here. Even when you faced with, or when you got a life sentence, and you got 25 to life, and you don't know how that's going to pan out. A lot of the brothers didn't even know they was going to be released off the under issue a few years back. Like, the brothers had given up. They said, man, this is my life in here. So I'm going to make it as comfortable as possible. But guess what? God opened up a whole nother door and shed a light on them brothers. Them brothers was in tears when they left here. They was in tears because they never thought they would never see the streets again. So that's why you gotta stay upbeat. That's why you gotta stay positive. That's why you gotta keep the right circle, the right men around you, and have the right relationship even on the street. So that's why I always say, man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have a voice for those who can't speak, for those that's living in here day to day, trying to figure it out. And it get rough. It get rough. It get rough. And when you talk to as a grown man, do this, or you like that's tough. That's hard. Like you really gotta swallow your pride. So my family, my friends is what keeps me afloat on a lot of it. But my creator is the most and the almighty. So even when you don't think that there's a way, there's a blessing that pop up. Like, so that's why you gotta keep going. That's why you keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, man, when you start losing people. People start getting older. So you get to thinking. So that's why you gotta stay focused and you just gotta put in. You put out what you did, right? So that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me going ahead.
Wow. Now we have a comment from Ricky Chesson. I think that's how you say his last name. He said it's crazy to give a 15-year-old that much time. He doesn't have an understanding of life or what it means to be a man. And that's why we've been going down to Annapolis, because that's what we're saying. You putting children, like, we understand that the child committed the crime, but is it right to put them in a facility with grown men and women? That's the question. Is it right? And why do you think it's right? Why do you think that's okay? And then we have a question for a comment. I'm sorry. We have a comment from Dennis Smith. He said, Monty, continue your growth and development. Strive to make a better way for younger men coming behind you. Use your story to help others so they may choose a new path. And Gabrielle Bradley says, I am the wife of a lifer, and it is not easy. It takes true love and dedication and openness. We've been together since we were young, and trying to maintain a healthy relationship isn't easy, but She said, but doable. Stay strong, Monty. And then Victoria
Thank you.
Johnson says, she says, you're a very strong minded, very humble guy. And she said he hasn't let his situation break his spirit. Yeah, that's what I was saying too when I talked to you for the first time. And it was late when we talked, and you just had so much energy. I would have thought you were at home, you know. And that's what I say about, the people and I've been doing this for probably about 25 years. And I know you said something that really stuck with me, and you were saying that a lot of times you all are going through something, but you don't want to burden your loved ones. So you just try to get
Right.
through it.
Right. So it a lot of times life moves. Time don't stop for anyone, right? So some of the stuff that happens in here, I was afraid to tell my mom specifically, right? Because she worries, she worries, tremendous. She still worries to this day. So a lot of the stuff that I'm able to talk about now and express now, I couldn't back then. I couldn't express. I couldn't tell her. I could tell her to my brother, Dennis, who just chimed in. I could tell her to my other brother, Delmar, who chimed in, right? I could tell it to them, because they come from a community or, a background where have you is, so they can understand a little bit, right? But it's tough to express those things. And then to just act like it's nothing, like to act like it never happened. Like if you was to hear somebody, prime example, when I heard when I was up here before, the police jumped on somebody up here. They broke the dude's leg, and you can hear the screams and the hollering. And this when I first came to prison. It was scary. I never told that. I don't think any of my family, because of that burden of worry and of that burden of, oh my God, so I had to be strong. I had to find different outlets. I'm a guy that's been in here longer than me. That kind of needed roots a little bit. So it's a lot of things that you said that you don't speak about. That happens in here that should be talked about, but if people don't know, people don't see it. And it's traumatizing, especially to us. Juveniles. Just coming in. That stuff is like, man, like this is normal. Like this is the norm, and the guys will tell you, like, yeah, it's normal for you to see blood. It's normal for you to see a guy getting stabbed, or like this stuff is normal in this type of environment, but and like it's really not normal. Like it's abnormal, So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And I think, it's like being out here, Monty. Like, I live in Baltimore, and it's become the norm to hear about people getting shot and killed. It becomes the norm. It doesn't sound right, and it shouldn't be the norm, but sometimes it happens so much that it just becomes the norm. Right. And I know that it's definitely a shock when the younger people come in there. I wanted to ask you, do you all get any type of mental therapy or help in there?
So no. The only facility that gives that out is Production Institution, and they do group therapy down there. But as far as any other institution in the state of Maryland, like there's none of that. There's none of that. The best therapy that you won't get is you talking to one of these, a Corey Green, Ransom Watkins or Ransom, just older brothers that's been in here for a while. Like that was your only go-to, when you're feeling at your lowest, and it helps. It helps soothe. It helps ease the pain, So yeah, like that's our therapy. That's my therapy, outside of being able to have access to the phone, and call home. But no, there's none of that in it.
Wow. And what are when while you're there, what are like your lowest moments? Is it the holidays or birthdays or something? Or are those low times for you?
Um, so when I first came in, it was definitely the holidays for sure. Like Thanksgiving, Christmas, like these are times where though family got together or we going, we traveling out of state going, to our relatives' homes and having family together as a whole. So the holidays and the birthdays is very, very sad times for me, very sad times for me. I've learned to kind of numb them. You know, I'm feeling so down, so sad. So
Right.
I kind of push through it now. I kind of to be honest, and it's sad to say, but it's kind of like another day. So um, it's still hurtful at times. Like the seasons are more so get at me a little bit every now and then. But yeah, the holidays definitely because those are the times that you be around people that love you, and
Right.
like y'all share the same love instead of being around strangers, and you got to be around this person, that person who, so it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I can imagine like those, you know, especially like you said, holidays when everybody gets together. I can imagine that has to be like a difficult time in the facility, period, because a lot of people are feeling it. They don't want to be there and they can't get out to go anywhere. Um, and how did you adjust to that? Like knowing that you were going in, but you can't just open the door and go out whenever you want to. How do you make that adjustment?
Um, um, knowing that knowing that I guess what I'm up against, right? Knowing what I'm up against from the system to everybody that came before me. It's like okay, it's gonna take some time. You ain't just gonna wake up and you get the keys and you gone. Like it ain't gonna do that. So actually having that sink in and like, hey man, look, it's your reality as of right now. The only way that this changes if you do X, Y, and Z, right? So I don't know, like it's kind of like you psych yourself out, or I'm not even gonna say psych yourself out. You start moving. You start moving because you hope that you understand and dissect the thought, like, oh, okay, well, oh yeah, okay, I got them right here, or they violated this, or it's like, okay, this is going to be over soon, so let me just maintain my sanity, take care of myself as best way as I can, as I know how, because I know that gate is going to open up. That gate is going to open up.
Wow,
So,
wow.
that's how I manage. Yeah.
You're a strong brother, and so are a lot of other people that are inside and those that came out. And I just feel really blessed to be able to, be a part of all of your lives. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Um, I wanted to read. We had a couple more comments before we go. One is from Gwen Levi. She says, "I am currently interviewing Unger guys for their 10-year anniversary report. They are they are being cited by other states to show that second chances work. They are some of the most successful people in our community." And this person just has their initials TSB, and I don't know if it's a male or female, but it's saying that is exactly how I felt as a lifer. I wanted to protect my family from pain, fear, and disappointment. I never even told my family about my court dates because I didn't want them to be disappointed if things did not work out. Prison is perverse in its culture of dysfunction. Wow. So I'm assuming that person was able to get out. But Monty, listen, thank you so much. Now,
Uh-huh.
before we go off, let me explain to everybody what's going to happen, and then we're going to get Miss Leah to give us some closing words. But Monty is going to be on every Thursday, y'all. Every single Thursday. He said he wanted a podcast, so he got a podcast. He even has a show. He on social media and everything right now, and the radio. So, so sometimes God
Okay.
answers prayer. And I don't believe, I think I told his friend Delmar, I don't believe that people meet just by accident. I don't. I think there was a reason why. Because I'll be honest with you, Monty, when the show is over, I normally don't answer the phone because I'm like, the show is over. But that particular night,
But
he called a couple of times. Your friend called a couple of times. So I just went ahead and answered it. And I'm glad that I did because we had a really good conversation. So I want you all to make sure that you tune in every Thursday at 7 o'clock. Again, I know some of you tuned in late. Um, he is incarcerated. That's why you don't see his face on the screen, but you can hear his voice. Hold on one second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, so he's going to be on every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m. And Monty, let me tell you something. A lot of people are tuned in right now. A lot of people. So even though you can't
okay.
see it, I just wanted to tell you that. And I really believe that he's going to be a blessing because he's inside. And what the purpose of me wanting to do this is because I want to let all of the brothers and sisters know that we have not forgotten you, and at the same time, we can keep you up to date with everything that's going on. Miss Leah has stuff going on. We got Miss Gwen. She got stuff going on. A lot of people are down in Annapolis. And like I said, we're in DC. A lot of people are working on you all's behalf. But if nobody is talking, if you don't hear it, then you don't really know what's going on. But just want to tell you, Monty, that everybody is working out here. And so if you are incarcerated and you're listening, please make sure that you get to a family member and listen in on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Listen in. Now, I want to say this at 8 o'clock. We have Miss Gwen, Miss Etta, Miss Giselle, and Miss Gail. They're coming on at 8 p.m. in a few minutes. So don't y'all go anywhere because all of these ladies were incarcerated. And I said, you know what, y'all need a show. We got to have the men and the women talking. So, and I can't talk about it because I've never been incarcerated, so I can't talk about it. We got to have people on here which, that's did the time and they know what it's like and they can tell us how it is. And so, Monty, I want to thank you for your transparency. Thank you for coming on. Thank you to Kay, his fiance. I told her and I have to meet sometime and go out. Um, but thank you so
Right.
much for coming on. I appreciate it. Anything you want to say before you go?
Yes. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I appreciate you, Miss J, for, like I said, allowing us, allowing me to share, to be a voice. For all the juveniles that came in and for the men that still down. To provide a platform such as this because this is needed. This is needed. Because the things that a lot of people won't talk about, it can be discussed on here, and we can get updated with different bills and what's going on.
Right.
It's very informative. So everyone just come out. Even if it's a little, even if it's a little thing that you do, by tuning in, or by writing a letter, or by answering your phone, like just stay tuned in. And we appreciate it. Appreciate you, Miss Leah. I appreciate you. I hope I get a chance to talk to you more.
Yes.
I would love to talk to you more. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, ladies. Thank you.
And listen, you got homework for the next show, right? I told you once you finish one show, you got to do your homework for the next show.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
So,
I'm ready.
but
I'm ready.
hopefully you got the nervousness out, y'all. He was kind of nervous, but I told him he gonna be okay. He did a wonderful job.
Yes,
You
I
really
will.
did. You did a wonderful job. So blessings to you. You had one more comment. Oh, two more. The person TSB says it's a miracle I got out. That was the person that said they had life. The only mental health treatment I
Right.
received was through volunteer counselors and ministers who came in through the religious services department. Grateful for God's grace. Yeah, that's what I used to do. I came in through the religious services department. And Victoria Johnson says, "Thank you for." Oh, she's talking to me. Thank you for giving him an opportunity to be heard. Absolutely. So, Monty and Kay, thank you so much. Miss Leah, go ahead and say what you had to say.
Okay, I'm just blown away. This is our time. This is a movement. This is a pure movement, guys, and we want to show the public how what's going on behind the walls. We're gonna rock this. So stay tuned, Marty. I'm proud of you. Stay strong and show us the way. Show us what's going on and what could be, and get to this system. And as we get through this and we grow, we got to get stronger. I am really excited. And Lady J, thank you for being there for all of us. This is needed. I'm just blown away. And if we keep up this movement, I want you to remember this is a movement that applies to all of us. And we all got something to bring to this table. And I'm going to do my best to bring us together. And thank you, lady. I really appreciate it, Marty. And this is wonderful. It's wonderful. I could go on, but I'm gonna stop. I, I appreciate you so much.
Well, good. Well, you know what? Like you said, it's time. It's
It's
time.
time. It's our time. It's our time.
We're going to do what we can. If everybody does their part, we can help so many people.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I tell everybody is stay in your lane. If you don't know what you're doing, stay in your lane.
That's
okay?
right.
Just stay in your lane.
Yes.
So, Monty, have a good night. We love you. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
See you, Marty.
All right.
Monti. Okay.
Monti, right. Monti.
Okay.
And if any of you want to still, I think his time is up, but if any of you still want to send messages to him, you can still send messages on here, and I can get those to his fiance to make sure. And I think that would be nice.
That would be great. This would be great.
Let him know that we're thinking about him, okay? So everybody have a great night. Thank you, Elder Evangelist Walker said, God bless you all for being obedient to the God that say we should remember the people in shackles and chains. Amen. So we're gonna, y'all do not go anywhere. Please do not go anywhere. We have a great show. Get ready to come up and give me about 2 minutes to switch seats, okay? And we're gonna have these ladies come on. It's gonna be a beautiful show. And I will talk to y'all soon. Miss Leah, thank you for coming on. We will talk, okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
Everybody have a great night. Do me a favor. Please make sure that you share this video. Get this video out. If you have people that are behind the walls or even the people that are coming out, let them know that this show is on so we can support this brother and what he's doing. This is going to be therapeutic for him. That's why I was asking them, do they have therapy in there? This is going to be therapeutic. All right, y'all. I got to go because I got to get to the next show. Y'all have a good night. But stay tuned for the next show. It's coming up in 2 minutes.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.